It's been a living nightmare living with Lyme disease. I was misdiagnosed for over a decade, and I went from being an active, social, fun-loving person to almost being a hermit and being mostly housebound and bedbound. At my worst, I was barely able to take a bath or fix a meal for myself or hold my head up even for 5 to 10 minutes at a time. So I would lay in bed and try to prioritize what I needed to do the next time I got up. I would lay in bed in so much pain, unrelentless pain, and I would stare at the ceiling textures trying to distract myself from the pain, and laying on a heating pad, and tears would roll down the sides of my eyes. That much pain. It was difficult to attend any of my kids' school functions. Sitting on the bleachers at the school was so terrible for me to even try to do that, and I felt bad not being able to be more of a part of their life and their activities. Even if I did happen to have a better day and be out, I would pay for it in the aftermath by laying in bed for 5 days up to a week after just being out for several hours. When I was out, I might appear to look okay. I know how to do my hair and makeup, and people would think that I didn't look sick, and what they don't know is that I laid in bed for a week before I went anywhere, and I would lay in bed for a week after even being out, and they didn't see me at home suffering in bed for myself, isolated from the world. One of the worst parts was not having the support of family, losing friends. I enjoyed, when I was able to work, being out in the workforce and having my own money, being independent, paying my own bills, and to go from that to feeling like I was codependent or needed to rely on people, but no one was there. When the medical profession didn't back me up, and they would tell me, first thing they did was hand me antidepressants and tell me I needed Prozac or other drugs or exercise or take a vitamin, and it was much more than that. I knew I had been fighting chronic infections for a long time, and sometimes when I had bronchitis, sinusitis, that sort of thing, it would take months to even get over that with antibiotic treatment. And it started coming on more frequently, that even if I got bit or scratched by a dog or a cat, my whole hand would get infected. Or if I cut my finger on a can, opening a can with a can opener, it would go to infection right away. How's Lyme disease affect my life? It's affected it negatively. It wasn't only the physical symptoms, but also financial and emotionally. And it caused a lot of frustration and anxiety. I've been called names. I've been called lazy, a malingerer, or a faker. People may fake a cold or the flu to get out of a shift at work for a day or two, but people that are chronically ill with these complex diseases like Lyme disease, you do not lay in bed day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year to get out of life. Major symptoms that I experienced having Lyme disease and co-infections: unrelentless pain. Pain, pain, pain. Migraines, spine pain, muscle pain. I felt pain clear down into my bones. It felt like it was in my bones and my bone marrow. That's how bad the pain was. Extreme exhaustion that was not relieved by rest, you know, a week's vacation, a whole weekend off. Nothing would take away the extreme fatigue and exhaustion. It's more than what even a nap could do. I would describe as feeling like I was wearing a lead suit with a lead hood on it, with concrete blocks tied to my extremities, walking through a mud puddle with my head in a dark cloud. And that was my life, day in and day out. I've lost 16 years of my life due to Lyme disease and being misdiagnosed for so long. And now I'm dealing with the long-term repercussions. Even though I'm going through treatment and getting better, that's not going to give me back the internal organs that have been removed, like my gallbladder, hysterectomy. I now have degenerative disc disease with a metal plate and a couple screws in my neck from a herniated disc, which I believe is all related to going misdiagnosed for so long. As far as the results, I've had gradual, modest improvement. I've now had some good days per week, whereas before I wasn't having any at all. I've only been in the program for 4 weeks, and I've been sick a long time, 16 years, so it is gradual improvement, but I am seeing it. I did not get sick overnight. I don't expect the healing to take place overnight. There's a lot of things that have to be done with the continued treatment, and I expect continued results, positive results, when we're fine-tuning like the hormone medication and the thyroid medication and tweaking all the different components. The staff here have really listened to the problems and symptoms that I have expressed. Instead of prescribing a page full of Western medicines and treating just the symptoms, like putting a Band-Aid on an injury, are looking to get to the root cause of the disease. And mainstream doctors only allow maybe 5 to 10 minutes for me to talk to me and express what's going on and the symptoms that I experience. And they would only treat maybe 2 to 3 of the symptoms at a time, and they didn't want to hear about the rest of the problems I was having, or they wouldn't have the time for it, and they would tell me that's enough for today. That's all we're going to cover. Here at this clinic, they listened, they took the time, and they really seem to care, and their main goal is that I get better. I've talked to some patients that have came here while I was also getting treatment, and they have not been sick as long, and so they started experiencing and seeing positive results within as little as 3 to 7 treatments.